here. I just want to wish all of you a happy Easter. I know it's Easter weekend, and many of you are probably traveling. You're with family, or you're going to be with family. So, what an incredible weekend it is, and so much to celebrate. Well, this weekend is a very special weekend for Dave and I. Some of you know, maybe some of you don't know. 30 years ago, on a Saturday morning, just like this, I was a very, very nervous girl. It was 1993 and we were in Great Bend, Kansas at a little log cabin church. I had not seen my dad in person for about 4 years. My parents had separated. My dad had moved, changed his name, all the things. I didn't think we would ever find him again. My mom was a single mom of five, and Dave and I were to meet in the aisle at 2 p.m. to say our vows in front of our families. Now, everything that glitters is not gold. What was a beautiful day, a beautiful dress, a beautiful veil. I'm telling you, there was a lot of pain and suffering going on that day. I remember our moms were both incredibly nervous, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of hurt, a lot of change. Dave and I were young kids. And when you're a young kid and you're thrown into the middle of that, I just remember all the feels, all the emotions, like, oh my gosh, my poor mom. I remember my mom was broke out in hives from head to toe and so nervous she actually forgot her shoes at our house that was clear across town. And being Easter, Dave and I were two young kids and our moms were very, very broke. We decided that for the dessert, my mom would make her famous homemade ice cream. And as my little teenage brother and sister took off down the road to go back to the house to get my mom's shoes for the wedding, they nailed it. And 10 gallons of homemade ice cream went all the way down 10th Street in Great Bend. And the refreshments were all over the highway. That was the beginning of this crazy journey. And what most people plan, they're get down on one knee today and let the whole world know that you're getting engaged. Dave and I did that at a stop sign on a country road, a night when we both had really renewed our faith. We had prayed and rededicated our lives to Jesus at his boss's house, and we were leaving. It's like he wanted to know that I was a good girl before he popped the question. The crazy thing is, what many of you don't know, we didn't know we were expecting Brooklyn. We had no idea. We had been dating 4 months and we had both just broke off engagements. I would have been getting married on Christmas Eve. And instead I was getting engaged on January 10th, I believe it was. No, February 10th. So here Dave and I were, two kids. I call it two sparrows in a hurricane, really trying to find our way. The lyrics to that song are so perfect for us because when you have a divine destiny, like nothing will keep you from your destiny. Nothing. Now, the crazy thing about our story is, had Dave not nearly died on the back of a bull on 4th of July in Platts Bluff, is it Platts? What is it, Dave? North Platte, Nebraska? Scotts Bluff, Nebraska. That's where it was. And came back to Russell, to his mom's couch. He laid there for a few months, healing, lots of surgeries on this knee, and a horrible event that was meant to break him, right? Meant to break his career, his momentum. He was riding like 75, 80% of the bulls he was getting on. This is back in the day when Lane Frost or Tuff Hedeman or Ty Murray, like these were young kids behind the chutes. And Dave was following his dream, had quit his baseball scholarship, a single mom with her son, playing baseball in college. He quits baseball to join a rodeo team and hits the road with Spud Whitman, who a lot of people know in the rodeo world. But crazy as it might be, I had everything planned out. I had bought my own engagement ring. I was dating a guy that really didn't want to be committed. I was teaching dance, cutting hair, running a full service salon, 2 tanning beds. I was doing House of Lloyd, home interiors. I had Artistry Amway makeup all over. I had the 3-wick party light candle. Like if you came to my shop, it was a one-shop stop. You could get Christmas around the world. I could do your makeup, your hair. You could tan. I could teach your little girls dance when I got off work. I was absolutely killing it. So I thought, But deep down inside, I was dying. I was literally struggling for intimacy, um, struggling for approval. I needed to be loved, and I felt a lot of abandonment in my life. I mean, abandonment was really the word, because as much as I love my dad today and we are good, as a young girl, I was just really broken. I will just tell you guys, I was really, really broken, looking for love in all the wrong places. I don't know why I'm giving you guys all my country song lyrics today, but that was me. And if I ever got a tattoo with my daughter, Brooklyn, it would say, "You are built not to break." Because the reality is, all of us are going to have our own journey, right? We're all going to be on our own journey, and it's not going to be easy ever. Anything worth doing is never going to be easy. And most days you're going to feel like quitting. But when you truly make a decision, like, I'm an amazing human, I am enough, I can be, I can do, I can have anything I ever dreamt. God literally created me for greatness. And when you say that and you believe that and you truly step into faith, big shit is going to happen in your life. And I'm going to say that again. Big shit is going to happen in your life. Now, it's probably weird for you that I'm going to talk about God in one sentence and say a cuss word in the next, but I have to get your attention, because at a time where I was planning the dream wedding, I was becoming a Catholic so we could get married in the biggest church. You know, it was all about the show. Had to have not 5, but 7 bridesmaids. Had to have not just the flower girl and the ring bearer, but the miniature bride and groom. Like, I had all the things, the red convertible, my tag said topless. I had jet skis. I had a boat. I had a Suburban. We had ATVs. I was breeding golden retrievers. I was making money hand over fist. And I was just a 21-year-old girl. Train wreck, if you want to know the truth, because the foundation that I was building on was struggling for all the worldly things that make you feel approved, make you feel loved, make you feel accomplished, make you feel successful. And I was so broken. And it was crazy the way God works, because, you know, I was raised a little Baptist girl. And I had a grandma that drug me to church 3 nights a week at least, and had prayer meetings in the living room. Even if a kid came and knocked on the door, we lived across the street from a park. I pretty much lived with my grandma. Can Barb come play kick the can? Sure, she can. Come on in. We were just finishing up our Bible study. I would be like, oh my God, Grandma, I'm never going to get a boyfriend. I'm never going to have a friend ask me to the movies. Like, you're so weird. You know, as a young kid, I was just like, why you got to make it so weird? But she was creating a foundation for me that would set me up for success for the rest of my life. Because no matter what happened, no matter what wrong decisions I made, no matter how many bad things I did, at the end of the day, when it was just me and my God, I could literally say, like, I need you. I need your help. I am lost. And fast forward through all the chaos of my growing up at home with so much chaos. Like, I think we could make Jerry Springer just look boring if we really would have just made a home movie. I think Kardashians would be off the air and it would have nothing to do with wealth. It would just be like Pitcock's Believe It or Not, or the Zorn family shenanigans, right? Like, my mom is an absolute rock, and Dave's mom as well. Because even though they didn't have much, and even though they were single moms, and even though there was a ton of chaos, the most important thing was always the most important thing. And that was us. You know, there are a lot of things in your life that you can prioritize. But for our moms, motherhood was like up there with, am I breathing right now? And Dave and I both have the most amazing moms. My mom is actually coming to Oklahoma this weekend, and I'm so freaking excited. I've lived here at the lake off and on for 2 years now. My mom's never been to the lake house. I bought a little house across the street because I thought our moms might move here together someday. It's a cute little 2-bedroom with both their own bathrooms, their own patios, their own place for their dogs. You know, sometimes things that you plan don't work out as planned. And what I want to say to you today is that in 30 years of being married to the most amazing on the planet man, I would say we have been through a lot of ups and downs, a roller coaster that most people would never get on had they known what it was going to really be like. But God will take you through whatever He brings you to. And if you continue to stay on course with your faith and your belief and what you're professing, He will always bring you out 10 times bigger than any burden that you ever have. And I'm going to say that as a promise. No matter what you go through in your life, whatever He will take you to, He will make you through. Like when you go through the hard stuff, you become this person. It's not the money you make, it's not the house you have, it's not the car you drive, the pool you build, the vacations you post on your Instagram. At the end of the day, none of that really matters, because when you're broken, if you're sad and you're broken and you're living in a shithole, if we take you to the penthouse at Atlantis where it's 25,000 a night just to sleep in a bed, you're going to be broken in Atlantis in a 25,000 a night bed. You have to fix this. It's an inside job. And this happiness that I was striving for at the age of 21, I remember I pulled into the Food Mart parking lot. And if you guys don't know the story, you can get the book. No Guts, No Story is a book. This is all in a big, thick, I don't even have one here to show you, but you can get it at pitcockmarketing.com. The story starts way before that, but the shift in my life happened on August about the 12th. I was standing in my full service salon. I had worked all day. Like I said, I was engaged. My little sister came by. We were going to go to the lake. The guy that I was dating, engaged to, was always entertaining, whether it was a keg party at my big house or my boat was on the water. There was tons of girls. I was always insecure. I was redhead, freckle face, fair skinned. Let's call it pasty. Copper top, redhead before Julia Roberts made it a cool thing to be a redhead. And my self-esteem on a 1 to 10 was probably a 1.5 on a good day, if I had enough QT or tanning bed and someone else did my hair and makeup, right? Like I just never looked in the mirror and said, wow, you're so beautiful. I never looked in the mirror and said, wow, you're worthy. You're so valuable. I always compared myself to everyone else. And, one day I got a call from this previous friend. Dave actually took me to a movie when I was 12, and I still have the moldy rose pressed in an old picture book, the ones that you tear off the cellophane and you put the picture in and then, they keep them preserved. I have the rose and a little note, sent me a red rose. It was like, oh my gosh, butterflies when I was 12. And we went to a movie on New Year's Eve, but then it was like Dave went his way and I went mine. Well, he dated a prettier girl that was an athlete, and I sucked at sports, and he was an athlete. And, she was a little more popular, and I don't know, like I was just this girl trying to help my mom take care of 4 little kids. Like my nickname was Mama, and I would have them at the pool, and I would have them at the ball game, and I would have them wherever we were, the carnival, the fairgrounds. Like I was trying to help my mom take care of all these little kids, even when I was 12. My grandma passed away that year. And all of a sudden, I kind of like picked up where she left off, because she was obviously my mom's rock, just like my mom is to me. And I hated being the babysitter. I was like, I'm never having kids. This is horrible. It meant I had no freedom, right? I remember hating my life, hating my mom, hating that I had to work all these jobs. Even at 12 and 13, my sister and I worked at the Charm Beauty shop. We cleaned all the brushes and the perm rods. Every day after school, we threw 500 papers for Salina Journal. And mom and dad weren't there. We had bikes, right? We had roller skates. Like we were crushing it when we were kids, because my mom and dad taught us hard work is the only way. And I'm so, so grateful for that. My mom is still that way. You know why she hasn't been here for 2 years? What am I going to do with the dogs? I got all these baby calves. I got the car wash to fix. I got campers coming in the campground. Like my mom is a boss. Like she is just the boss of all bosses. But the thing is, sometimes we're working so hard making a living that we don't have a lot of time to really make a life. And Dave and I got together a day that he called for a haircut. And that morning, let's go back. My sister and I are standing there ready to go to the lake. The phone rings and Dave goes, I have a proposition for you. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I have some Garth Brooks tickets. I'm like, okay, let me talk to my boyfriend and I'll see how much do you want for them. And Dave goes, no, no, no. Like, I have a proposition for you. And I go, okay, well, I'm just getting off work. He goes, could I come and get a haircut? I said, Tuesday, 9:00. It was Saturday at like 2. I was late to the lake, right? Been there since 7:30, probably made $300-400 that day. I was addicted to work because it was the one way that I felt approval. I would go in at 7 in the morning. I would stay till 7 or 8 or 9 at night. I never said no. I was that stylist that if you were a walk-in haircut and I was jam-packed, I would fit you in while the girl ran to the bathroom. Like, how long would it take me to cut your hair, shave your neck, wash your hair, and make another $20? Like, I was a money-making machine. And one day, Dave came or asked for that haircut, and I said no. And I remember my sister and my cousin Stacy both standing there like, did you just tell Dave Pitcock no? Like, the Dave Pitcock, the guy that rides bulls, the hottest cowboy in town, like, you told him no? I'm like, I mean, my insecurity was like, I got to get to the lake, or I'm going to be replaced. And the crazy thing is, that night, a series of events happened that we don't have to go into, but I found myself literally crushed in my car, heartbroken, crying my eyes out. I remember the guy that owned the boat shop had left a bottle of rum in my car when he was fixing our boat, and it was in the trunk. And my great grandma had passed away that week. Being a hairstylist, believe it or not, I was headed to the mortuary the next morning to do her hair, which was weird. I had never done a relative, and my sister was like, I'll go with you. So I had that appointment the next morning. I had too much responsibility to get drunk, but I wanted to. And I was sitting on Main Street, and it was like I wanted to write a letter to God. Like, my life is in shambles. Everyone's expecting me to be married. We've been dating for 10 years, since I was 12, I can't quit now. I have too much invested. All of our friends are the same friends. We're like high school sweethearts. We got to keep this persona up. But it was shitty. What was I even trying to prove to all these people? And he's not a bad person and I'm not a bad person. We were just not good together. And it was toxic. But I kept trying to make a wrong a right. And I will tell you guys, no matter how much you try, no matter how hard you push, no matter what you think you can fix, you cannot fix something that God does not have planned for your life. You're never going to make it work without him in the center of it. And I sat there in that parking lot. And the crazy thing is, just days before that, Dave had came home with a broken leg, sat in a Suburban in the Ramada Inn parking lot with his boss, and he had rededicated his life to the Lord, and he was broken. I mean, his dad and stepmom were newly married, and she was a young girl that had just graduated with Dave. Amazing people. Loved Dave's dad. That was God's plan for their life. But at the time, Dave didn't really understand all that. He's like, why is my dad marrying a girl that I graduated with? And his dad was an alcoholic at the time. Praise the Lord. He's 20 years plus sober, most incredible man. It was part of his journey, right? It was part of his journey. But you're always that person that's trying to make someone else's journey be your journey. And the thing about it is, we don't know why everyone struggles with what they struggle with. Why was the guy that I dating never faithful? Why did my dad leave and change his name and not support my mom and these 4 little kids? My baby brother was 3. I hated him for that at the time. But today, as I see the whole movie play out, right? The whole movie played out. My mom is one of the happiest, most joyful, amazing people that enjoys every minute of every day. She is a legend. I look at her, I'm like, Mom, I just want to be like you. She just wakes up every day. She's just so happy. She gets in her hot tub. She goes around, collects from all her 90 rental properties, goes and gets the quarters out of her car wash. Then she goes and waters her trees at the campground. She'll just be tootling around in her little white truck. Looks like she doesn't have any money at all. And this woman has not only created a legacy and empire for herself, but she taught 5 kids as a single mom how to absolutely crush it. And when I look at her, it's like, that's what I want to be. That's what I want to do. So my dream always was to be an incredible mom. I wanted to be a network marketer. I had been in network marketing 4 or 5 companies. I wanted a guy that would love me. I wanted to have 3 kids. I remember my mentor in Amway had a helicopter pad and 3 kids, and they lived in down by Liberal. And I used to drive there and just drive by their mansion. I'd be like, oh, if I had a man that loved me and 3 little kids, you guys, I was dreaming of this life that I wanted with no college education, no good boyfriend at the time. Like, my mom was barely getting by. We would get under her trailer house after her house was repossessed and my dad left. We would get under her trailer house with a blow dryer just to thaw out the pipes to take a shower. And my mom and the kids were sleeping 4 in a bed plus mom, and all their clothes were in the other bedroom. And she had lost everything. And here I am, cutting hair, teaching dance, babysitting the kids, trying to do whatever I can. College wasn't in the cards for me. It just wasn't in the cards. When your dad leaves and your grandma dies and you don't have any money and you don't really have anyone to help you, and you're trying to help your mom just keep the milk from being sour in the fridge that goes on the Captain Crunch for these kids before school, it's not glamorous. There was nothing glamorous about it. But I was being conditioned to be an amazing human that God would use to inspire other people to believe in themselves. And I do thank the Lord for every bad thing that ever happened, because the reality is, without all of the adversity, I would never have had the victory, because I wouldn't have been built not to break. And the only way that you're ever going to be built not to break is through adversity, because only in that tension does there happen growth. Only in the heartbreak does there happen healing. Only in the trials and tragedies and the things that are really going to test you do you develop faith. I mean, how do I know that God is real? Because that day when the phone rang, he showed up with the loudest message ever. And I said, no, not David Pitcock. And I told him no. I said, I'll catch on Tuesday. And then that night, sitting in the parking lot, contemplating the bottle of rum in my trunk. I mean, if I would have drank the whole thing, I would have probably died of alcohol poisoning because I was too busy to drink. I looked over, and there is this cut off t-shirt, back when guys cut off their t-shirts, and these little black athletic shorts, like the stretchy ones with the little V cut out on the side. Like, today, those would be a little feminine for a guy, but skin tight. I don't remember what they were called, sport shorts, crutches, a bird leg and one normal leg, and hair that was down to here, Keith Urban type hair. Back when mullets were the style. I mean, Dave's hair was to here. His bangs were down. It was hot, just not back then. And he goes, can I get a ride? And I'm like, if you get in my car, my abusive boyfriend will kill both of us. And all of his friends are on Main Street. And he didn't ask twice. He said, my friends just left me. And he opened the car door and he got in. And I said, we are going to have to get out of town and drive the country roads, or we're both going to be killed. Like, it's not going to be good. And not only did we drive the country roads, we ran away together. And not only did we run away together, we both were like threatened with our life and had to run like far away. We went all the way to Cody, Wyoming, where there was a nightly rodeo, even though he had a broken leg. So he could ride bulls every night of the week and make day money, right? And that's where this 30-year love story began. I mean, it began just with nothing. When I say 2 sparrows and a hurricane, like, we were literally in Cody, Wyoming at the food pantry because mom wasn't coming to the rescue. She was trying to rescue herself. Dad wasn't around. Like, I didn't know where my dad was then until, later. And the day that we got married, I remember I wrote a poem because I'm a pretty good poem writer. And I remember not a lot of friends were there because obviously we both had been in different relationships and engagements. So I'm sure our friends were like, should I go to the wedding or not? Because, like, whose side am I going to choose? It didn't really matter. The big wedding didn't matter anymore. Like, the big church didn't matter anymore. 7 bridesmaids didn't matter anymore. The party, the dance, the auctioning off my shoe, the garter, all the things that I thought were so important. Literally, we said our vows. My sister Lori and his brother Scott climbed in the back of my convertible. We drove to the Holiday Inn. We cut the cake. Everybody went home. Dave and I went to our suite, opened our presents by ourselves. A lot of alcoholism was happening out around the pool because that was a chapter of our family's life. And Dave and I just watched from the window. Our moms drove home. Dave's mom that night said she drank 6 beer with tomato juice and ate 2 dozen marshmallow eggs. And so this weekend, in memory of her, I have the red beer and the marshmallow eggs if anybody wants them. And we are celebrating 30 years of absolute amazingness. And, you know, God had to take me through a lot of ups and downs to get me to that point. But let me tell you something. All of you have been created to be great. And all of you have someone out there that's going to love you unconditionally for the rest of your life. All of you have talents that you can make millions of dollars if you would just take a step of faith. All of you have deep down hidden things that you're not wanting to share with anyone because you think, oh, I should be ashamed. I mean, I got pregnant the 3rd month we were together and we weren't married. Like, that's part of my story. I didn't have it all planned out perfect, right? I nearly died giving birth to this little girl. Like, I had toxemia help syndrome in ICU. My blood pressure was 240 over 120. My eardrums burst. Nobody thought I would live. And I lived, right? Not only I lived, we brought her home at 4 pounds and she lived. And my second most important day of my life, next to dedicating my life to the Lord and to my amazing husband, was becoming a mom. So when I think about what's most important in this 30 years, I mean, sometimes I've probably even put motherhood above being a wife, which is not what you're supposed to do. But it's just like my most incredible blessing is my children. I would die for them. Like, I love them so much. And I'm going to tell you guys, you've probably spent half of your life unconscious, not even thinking about what is the most important thing until one day you are going to get rocked. And I think last year of all of our 30 years was like, wow, this aha moment where you go, we're not going to be here forever. Like, one day we're going to be gone. And then what? And I think some of you are chasing, like I was. I think I learned this lesson at a really early age. You're chasing the money, you're chasing the fame, you're chasing the house, the car, like what people think, your Instagram likes, your followers, your title. This year, I gave up a title. This year, I gave up a huge income. This year, I made a lot of big decisions. And the most important decision that I made was that I'm going to build my empire and my legacy and my family and my whatever I'm going to leave behind when I'm gone on the strongest foundation that I've ever built it. And I'm going to build it with people that are like-minded. I am going to show up every day and share my story with pride that I made it through it. No shame, no guilt, not trying to get anyone to accept me, not worrying about if it's politically correct or not. Like, honestly, you guys, the world needs hope. And Dave and I, in this 30-year anniversary, we are stepping into a new chapter where we're literally going to pour and serve and love and give and change lives like we've never changed lives. Because when you get to a certain age and you start to lose your parents, or you start to see your friends losing their parents and you realize you're a grandma. Now it's not just motherhood, but it's grandmahood. Like, they're looking at me, and this isn't a dress rehearsal. Like, this is it. Like, I'm in the middle of my story and I'm co-creating with this pen. I mean, the reel is going and the movie is happening and I'm in control of how it's going to end. I'm not in control of everyone else. I wrote some notes down because I think when I think of you, if I were going to say something to you about your marriage, your life, your education, the decisions that you're making, do it and do it all the way. Like, go and do it. Otherwise, don't even start it. Like people are just half-assing everything. Oh, I'm going to get married. If it doesn't work out, we'll get a divorce. Oh, I love this person. I think we'll have some kids, but I'm not really sure I want to spend the rest of my life with them. Oh, I think I'll just test it out first. Like, you guys, whatever you're going to do, commit and do it. Do it when it's hard. Do it when it's not easy. Do the right thing always. And the times that things don't go right, because they're not going to, like, there's so many things in our life that didn't go right, that weren't really traditional. I had to make a decision that I couldn't change everyone else around me, but I could change me. I could change me. And I had to mean what I said I was going to do, like financially, spiritually, mentally, physically, showing up, not just as a mom, not just as a wife, but as a leader. You know, as we started companies and people were following us and they were looking to us, my decisions affected other people's decisions. Sometimes I made good decisions, sometimes I made bad decisions. And you know, it's the wisdom that you get that causes you to not worry. It's the gratitude that you find instead of grumbling about everything wrong. It's the faith that you have instead of blaming everyone else for everything. And every time you break, it's a chance for you to get back up and not give up and to say, wow, I learned a valuable lesson here. I'm going to get better. I'm going to find a way. You can beat it and you will beat it. You don't need a degree. You don't need support. You don't need money. You just need you. You just need to be relentless. When the oppositions come, when the trials are happening, when the circumstances are ugly, and we had a lot of that this year. And you know what? I still have a lot of it happening right now, but I can't run. I can't run from it. I have to have staying power. I have to have staying power that I only get from a higher power. And the staying power says you will remain unbroken as long as you decide. So there's a lot of things that I know. We all have to go through struggle and suffering because that's part of living on this earth. The only place we're not going to have struggle, suffering, pain, grief, disease, hate, just some of the crap that I see happening. I'm just like, why is that still happening in 2023? Racism, like that's still a thing. What the hell is wrong with people? Like I don't understand it, but I can't change all the other people. I just know this. I'm going to be a light. I'm going to be a light. And Dave and I together in our next 30 years until we celebrate 60 years. You know what's the funny thing about it? Our wedding wasn't very glamorous, but it was the most blessed day ever. Our vows were in the middle of so much craziness happening, but they've been stronger than anything ever. And on our 25-year anniversary, I was like, oh, I think I'll get a new ring and we'll have a band and a big party. And on our 25-year anniversary, we were serving. We were with Dave's mom at the chemo center in Salina, Kansas. And in November of that year, they gave her 6 weeks most to live. And she was in her 6th month. And that April, we were in a company on a Sapphire leadership call at 2 p.m., waiting on her to get her chemo put in her portacath. And we got back in the car and we bought a Brahms and we drove home and we said, happy 25th. We'll celebrate on our 30th. Well, here it is, our 30th. We didn't plan anything big. We don't have a party. We still haven't had a wedding dance. We didn't have anything glamorous. I didn't have to go get a new ring. None of that really, really matters. It's just that you get your expectations up. You expect what you're going to do. And the only disappointments you ever have in life are because of the expectations that you expect. I expected I would probably be living near all of my children. We would probably all be celebrating, blah, 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 blah. My kids have been going through stuff. I've been going through stuff. Dave's been going through stuff. He's going home this week to clean out the rest of what's in his mom's house. And that's not a very glamorous anniversary week. We cry a lot because we're grieving. We pray a lot because we have a lot of opposition happening right now. But the most important thing is the most important thing. We have an audience of one, and that is God. And I'm showing up every single day with forgiveness, happiness in my heart. I enjoy what I'm doing, which brings me joy. I'm trying to be the best wife that I can be, and I fall short every single day. I'm absolutely the best mom that I can be. I am an overachiever in that department. I don't know why, but I have no regrets there. I am the best mom on the planet. That's my claim to fame. No letters behind my name except MOM. And other than that, I'm the best grandma, right? I'm showing up as a better leader. In this year, I created a coaching series and it is crushing it. Like, I literally took a huge pay cut to mentor a couple dozen women and a couple men. And every day we meet and we're like besties. My coaching group is called Best. It's not convenient, but every day I make time no matter what's going on in our crazy life and we connect. And I'm telling you, the faith in there and the dreams in there and the goals in there and the accomplishments that are happening and like the growth that people are experiencing, like we are crushing it together. And even though it's a very small group, I want to tell you guys something. I have thousands of acquaintances, few true friends, and you're probably the same way. You have to really take stock and inventory in your life of where the value is. Where is the real value? That's a really tough question. Because if you're putting it on your top producer, if you're putting it on your boss, if you're putting the top inventory of all of your assets on how many hours you worked, or the credits that you got, or the accomplishment you got at work, or the promotion, like at the end of your life, at the end of your loved one's life, how important is that stock? And on November 17th, when Dave's mom went to be with the Lord, I took a really good inventory of stock. My true friends showed up, and the people who I thought had my back did not. My family is the most important thing in my life, right? I learned the most valuable lesson at a very young age of 51 that I needed to really tend to the most important assets in my life. And I needed to put my own oxygen mask on before everyone else's because I'm a caregiver. I'm a fixer. I'm a lover. I'm a people pleaser. I am it doesn't matter. We're going to get it fixed. Let me take over type of person. And I found myself this past year literally sicker than I had ever been in my life. I mean, shingles head to toe, stomach issues, gained 30, 40 pounds, like headaches, pneumonia, chronic fatigue, crying every day. And it was about January the 6th, I think. I remember it was an ice storm. Dave and I drove to Dallas on ice when nobody was even going to school or work. And I had this paradigm shift. And it wasn't anything that I'm selling. It was a decision that Dave and I were going to take care of our own health. And it wasn't a network marketing company either. I'm not trying to sell you nothing. I had a consultation with a doctor. I had blood work done. I took personal inventory of my life, and Dave and I made a decision that we were going to take care of ourselves. I mean, fighting an evil disease like cancer doesn't care, guys. Cancer doesn't care. It's not fair. It sucks. It destroys. It's evil. It will literally take your life in 6 weeks and show up out of nowhere. And you know what is the silent killer that everyone has? Stress. Stress, that's the silent killer. That's what makes everything in your body go rampant. There's cause and effect. If happiness is what we're striving for, then why do we get let down so many times when we let that cause us unhappiness? Joy is not really a choice. I mean, joy comes from you enjoying your life. And I was in a chapter where I wasn't enjoying anything. It was just pain and suffering. Pain and suffering, pain and suffering. And one day, Dave and I made a decision. We're going to enjoy every day of our life. If we have 1 year left, we're going to live it like we are dying. Like we are going to enjoy every day of our life. And I was posting a couple of days ago, like when you think about Easter and you think like the Lord knew he was going to give his life and he was going to be crucified. And he spent those last few days serving people. Like he literally was washing their freaking feet. People that would betray him, friends that wouldn't be true to him. He said there on that day, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. And when you think about all the people that you're holding judgment, resentment, for me and Dave as young kids, we were so mad at our dads, and then as in our 30s, we were so mad at people in business because they quit our company, they joined something else, they did this, they did that. Like now that I'm mature, and I will just say that very proudly, life is too short to care what other people do. Let them go do whatever they got to do. Love them. They might come walking right back into your life and you don't even know and do the biggest thing that you've ever done together. But you can't have resentment. You can't have hate. You can't judge them. You can't say, I would love them if they would blah, blah, blah. They're on their journey and God's taking them through poor decisions, pain, suffering, struggle to condition them to be great. And nothing will keep them from their destiny, right? Nothing will keep you from your destiny. But you have to allow people to do what they do and have unconditional love for them, because God doesn't love you more than he loves the person that's a thief. God doesn't love you more than he loves the person that's a bully. God doesn't love you more than he loves the person that's an alcoholic or a drug addict. God does not love you more than the spouse that cheated on his wife. God does not love you more than the person that, didn't go to college and didn't get a degree. He doesn't love you more than the homeless person or the sinner that you think is the worst person on the planet. Like, there was something in the news that happened last week in Hayes that was horrific. Like, I literally can see this tragic moment in my mind right now. And so many people were like, he should burn in hell. What a freaking idiot. And Dave and I and Brooklyn were in the car, and Brooklyn was in the back seat. And she said, man, like, I wonder what he was going through to have done that. And I was like, that's a good heart. You can't judge people for decisions that they make. You have to have understanding that we all are going to make bad decisions. We're going to go down the wrong roads, and we have two choices. We can go down a road of lack, or we can go down a road of abundance. And this is in your faith. This is in your finances. This is in your health. This is in your mentality. This is in your own physical fitness, the way that you eat, the way that you drink, the way that you move your body. It's in the way that you nurture relationships. And I am a nurturer, but I'm going to tell you guys, I spent a long time nurturing the wrong relationships until November of this past year. I don't care about being famous. I don't care about being the quote, executive. I no longer care about anyone's approval, and I no longer care about the money that's attached to it, because I will tell you this, when I bring value, where energy goes and a servant heart loves and gives, money will flow. Money will flow where your energy goes when you build it on a strong foundation. And this year, Dave and I have been through it. If ever our marriage would have been tested, I used to say 2001, when his little brother, his only brother, took his life, that was the hardest year of our life. Nope. This past year, God really showed me, like, without me, you have nothing. Some days, the only thing I had was just to get on my knees that were calloused and just pray for mercy. Like, please don't give me any more. And, the last 45, 50 days, I've done that every single day, consistently, in this house, at the lake, away from my businesses, away from my loved ones, away from everything. And I will tell you, I have had just an awakening, like an enlightenment of my purpose and my passion and the things that the Lord is going to do in my life. Yesterday, I went to the grocery store and I was walking out, and a young man said, ma'am, would you like to buy some of these? It's for our Hope House, for families that struggle with addiction. I looked around. I said, I absolutely would. I opened up my phone case. My mom had given me $300 from a electronic chair that we had sold, and she had delivered, and I had brought it with me to the lake, and I opened it up. It was all the cash I had. I said, give me everything I can get for $300. And he didn't have enough for $300. I said, keep the change. I love the fact that there are people that are going to stand out on the corner and try to raise money for something that the rest of the world is judging. I believe that we all need to be more authentic and transparent about the dysfunction in our life. We need to allow it to be normal that people have trauma. We need to be transparent that there are people right now that are behind bars detoxing from a drug and don't even know what they did to get behind bars. There are people that literally have a gun loaded today that want to take their life because they don't know any other way to stop the suffering and the pain. There are people I know who have lost their spouse this year, and it's everything they can do to just get up and get dressed because they don't even know how to live without this person that they loved for 30, 40, 50 years. I can't even imagine that pain. I can't imagine their pain, but I know this. Every one of us has our own pain. And there's probably nobody I've watched go through more than my husband, David Pitcock. And every day, no matter what, he gets up, he gets dressed, he puts good stuff in, he finds the good, he moves, he sets goals, he builds something, he helps somebody. He'll drive 17 hours one way just to help his son move and then get in the car and drive 17 hours back with my daughter in the car, sick or not sick. You know, he will go the extra mile and serve and help and love and give, even when he doesn't have it in him to give. And the thing that I've learned from Dave, and probably the reason I am the person that I am today, is that you can be and do and have anything that you ever dream of if you will just do it. But most people, they won't. They won't because they won't take the risk. They don't believe in themselves. Like, you have to define success for you. It's different for everyone. But you cannot spend time, write this down. I wrote this down this morning. You cannot spend time with anything that jeopardizes your soul. I don't care how it makes you feel temporarily. You'll still be thirsty for more. Nothing will ever quench your thirst. You'll still be hungry for more. You'll still be trying to make more, do more, have more, get more likes, get more fame, get more stuff, like get more high, like whatever it is that is this thing that is making you so empty, but you keep chasing it like an addiction. You can't drink that Kool-Aid because it might be sweet for a minute, but you're still going to get a mouthful of cavities. It might be sweet for a minute, but you're still going to be carrying around all the extra weight. You know, you've got to decide what happiness looks like for you and prioritize who you are. Don't spend any time, don't spend any time with anything that will antagonize your character. Because if every day you wake up pissed off and it makes you like, I can't stand this or that or him or her, run. I'm telling you, run as fast as you can, because the enemy will give you the Kool-Aid. He'll get you thinking that this is it, and he'll get you hooked, and he'll just keep you hooked, and he will steal every bit of joy that you've ever had in your life, because it's not the foundation. It's not the foundation. I got to keep all things in check, right? All 5 things. I got to be a mom. I got to be a wife. I got to have my spirituality, my faith. I have to have this career, which for me is not a job or a title or whatever. It's the empire that I'm going to build that's going to leave a legacy. That's the career. I don't care what it is. Speaking, coaching, real estate, network marketing, stores, retail, the bottling facility, the private label company, the markets, the salon, the med spa. I can have all these things going. I don't care about the thing. I don't care about the dollar. I care about the impact. I care about the legacy and the empire that I will build, that when I'm no longer here, my kids will be able to give and tithe and share and make an impact like I did, because it's not going anywhere. It's going to live on long after I'm gone. And do you know what the foundation of all of those things are? Relationships. It's your relationships. It's you doing the things you say you're going to do. It's you being there to serve and love, to give and to make a difference that matters to people, that they're never, ever going to forget. So I heard a speech this morning that I want to leave you guys with. And I made a lot of mistakes in my early career. Made a lot of mistakes last year, if you want to know the truth. I'm not ashamed of them. I didn't leave any crumbs. I didn't leave any crumbs. I was listening to YouTube this morning and I told Dave, who is that actor? Dave goes, Michael McConaughey. Like I don't watch movies. I don't really know a lot of famous people. I don't follow them all, but this was so good. He said, don't leave crumbs. Crumbs are the choices that we make. And if there's anything that I can tell you that Dave and I have done, we've always done the right thing or made it right. And if we couldn't, we did everything we could to take responsibility and apologize and say, we really effed up. Like that was a bad decision, but here's what we're going to do to try it, make it right, right? You didn't pay a bill, make payments. You don't want to be sitting in a restaurant looking over your shoulder and it's the guy you still owe money, right? Even when the funds are low, just confront it and say, like, I'm in a pickle, but could I at least pay interest only? Could I at least, I mean, Dave and I had a lot of setbacks in our 30 years, but we didn't leave a bunch of undone crumbs, right? No regrets, no feeling guilt or remorse about anybody we did wrong. I mean, I've been in some pretty sticky situations where you're literally like, how in the hell did I get in the middle of this mess? Sometimes it doesn't fix itself right away, but you just got to allow everybody else to be how they are and you keep doing the right thing. Don't leave crumbs. Don't have to be looking over your shoulder. Never have I ever once in my marriage thought, maybe I could just step out. Maybe I could just cheat. Never crossed my mind. I would never, ever, ever think of that, no matter how bad it was. And if you have, confront it, apologize, fix it, rework the trust, right? Instead of the mistakes that you made being swept underneath of all of the carpets, why don't you just step into your greatness and be authentic? Like, this is what I did. I screwed up. Have you guys ever heard Pastor Todd? Pastor Todd was a pastor that Callie and Darian turned me on to in Tulsa. And he has a book called Crazy Faith. He has a book called Relationship Goals. He has one of the biggest churches in the world. And he built the church after he shared his story of being addicted to pornography and stepping out and then coming to grips with it and using that story to change the world. Like him and his wife literally coach people on relationship goals. Get the book. It's oh my gosh, it's an amazing book. But he's so authentic and transparent about his challenges, about the things he had to overcome. I keep telling my daughter, Brooklyn, you are going to change the world. But you can't change the world until this person, you, gets comfortable being uncomfortable and says, Lord, I need you. Like, show me the way, direct my path, bless everything that you want me to do. And you have to listen, because sometimes when he listens, I'm like, nah, not Dave Pitcock. Then in 1996, Dave falls into a home-based business. I've been in 10, failed at them all. Dave comes home so excited. No, not network marketing. Dave talks me into it. 93 days later, I'm a full-time stay-home mom for 28 of our 30 married years. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that the Lord put that in my path. And he said yes when I said not just no, but hell no, get your money back. I don't want to be in a pyramid scheme, right? Sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And I had been praying for that dream, believing that I would have 3 kids, a residual income, live in the country, build my dream home since I was 18 years old. He just had to reroute me. I had to go through a lot of shit before I got the right guy. I had to go through a lot of shit before I got the right company, right? I had to go through so much crap before I learned the lesson over and over and over again. That's like, be careful who you get in business with. Be careful what you hitch your wagon to. Be careful about the shiny things that you chase. Be careful about how you prioritize your time, because I'll tell you guys, one thing that we're going to run out of is time. You might not ever get another Easter with your mom. You might not ever get another 4th of July with your kids. You might lose a child before they lose you. Like, whoever knew that in July of 2001, Dave and I wouldn't have another 4th of July with his brother? That wasn't in the plan. But it doesn't matter how much you plan, you can't escape challenge. You can't escape pain. You can't escape the diseases that are on this planet. Addiction is the biggest disease in the world right now. People just don't treat it like that. They treat it like something that's a bad thing to be ashamed of. You guys, it's ranked up there higher than cancer and diabetes. But there's no treatment, there's no cure, there's no way that you can just like fix it. It's just there. And 1 in 4 families are struggling right now, sweeping it under the rug, don't know how to talk about it, don't know what to do. The parent is as sick as the child. The sister is as sad as the addict. The brother is as lost as, Dave was as lost as his brother when he lost his brother. But we had no idea what to do. You guys, that's because on this planet, before we go to heaven, we have redemptive suffering. It's part of life. The one thing that I have learned and that Dave and I are all about right now is people just need to be educated. People need to be educated. They don't know what they don't know. People need to be inspired. People need to be encouraged. People need to have hope. People need someone that sets an example that says it is cool to be married to the same person for 30 years. And yeah, you can do it. And you don't need all the apps and you don't need all the distractions and you don't need to have an open relationship, right? I mean, there's just things that I know that are so vivid in our 30 years of being married. And I want to greet today with so much love in my heart, even though I do have a lot of pain right now. I want to greet today with so much just service to other people. I want to help people feel better, look better, grow older, experience more happiness, enjoy every single day, quit doing all the shit they hate doing, and find an easier way, because you're not getting any younger. You're not going to get tomorrow back. The things that you think matter don't really matter. And the sooner you figure that out, the more time you're going to have left. Because remember this, stress is the silent killer. And you're bringing it on because you're allowing it. You're feeding it. There's a good dog and a bad dog, a white wolf and a black wolf. And they're both hungry. They're both hungry every single day. Dave and I have them in our life every single day. It depends which one we feed. And we have made a decision. We're not doing anything big on our anniversary. I don't even think we're going to be together on our anniversary Monday. I think one of us is going to be one place, one of us is going to be another place. But let me tell you what, every day is an anniversary. Every day is a celebration. When you enjoy the person that you're with and you have all love, all forgiveness, you focus on what you enjoy, you serve other people, you witness to other people, you give everything that you can give. You're just going to wake up good and you're going to go to bed good, even if shitty things happen all day long. And if there's anything that I could give you, we were working on a book, Getting It Together, and we were going to launch it on Monday on our anniversary. But instead, we did a different book with a co-author, and it's actually coming out Monday. I think this Monday on our anniversary, we're going to post a thing to vote for the cover. And really, it's about community. It's about authenticity. It's about you being the best version of you, even when it's not easy, and you doing the hard things, even if they cost you a lot, because in the end, you're going to pay the price regardless. You're going to pay the price anyway. You can either pay it up front or you can pay it down the road and you can keep on learning the lesson. But we're doing amazing things. We're doing amazing, amazing things. Our family's doing amazing things. There's a lot of healing happening. There's a lot of blessings happening. There's a lot of miracles happening. But nothing happens overnight, right? Like, we're all a work in progress. And we've had to put some things on the back burner to take care of other things, like business things that we were like so excited about. And now we're like, that keeps getting put back here, because you got to prioritize what's the most important thing in your life. And for me, it's always going to be God, then my family, then my business. And the most important thing to me right now is the impact that I make on you and the people that I can serve. And the only way I can do that is through showing up like this and an online platform that I created on my birthday last month. And it's called BEST. It's Barb's Empowering Success Tips. So it's really davidandbarb.com/best. But most of you know, like I'm crazy passionate about this every single day of my life, and Dave's the best at it. But it's not like he wakes up every day and says, I can't wait to go live and talk to all these people. We are polar opposites, but opposites attract, right? And we are doing amazing, amazing, amazing things that I can't wait to share with you all. But, you know, today at 9 a.m. On my Best Coaching platform, they launched a thing where you can actually never have to pay for your coaching. And it's so cool because a lot of people need a mentor, they need a coach. They want to be in that group, but they don't know how they could do that because they would do it for the free week with just $1, but then, oh my gosh, how would they afford $49 a month? Well, I don't keep the $49 a month. I'll tell you guys that. Part of it I'm giving back to everyone who tells someone about the coaching. Part of it is going to an incredible cause that Dave and I are more passionate about than ever. We just don't have all the ducks in a row yet. And it costs a lot of money to create this platform. I have an expert in Texas who's running it all behind the scenes. But if you even have 3 friends that you feel could get some good quality value from the coaching and me going live every day, I've been bringing one mentor a week, one of my mentors in. Last week we did online, making money online in your sleep with SEOs and websites. And this lady crushes it, like crushes it. She's an introvert and doesn't talk to people. It was one of the best mentoring training that I've ever had in there. The week before I had Maxandra Desrosiers, who is my spiritual coach, the strongest woman in faith I've ever met. So once a week, we have an outside mentor. Every day we have me. That's what you get. And I show up every single day, just as high energy and frequency and love and serving as I can. And then we also have group coaching. So you're going to be in a group once a week that's optional on a Zoom, where I would be there with you working through your goals, your dreams, the things you're going through. And then I'm bringing my entire network in there. So, you know, your net worth is going to be your network. So if you want to publish a book, I'm bringing the publisher. If you want to be debt free, I'm bringing the financial advisor. If you want to figure out how to lower your taxes, I'll bring that. You want to figure out how to fix your credit score, I'll bring that. I have met a ton of people in my 28-year career, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't standing on the shoulders of these giants. And you know what? Most people can't afford it. Most people don't know where to find it. Most people won't even make the effort to work on themselves every single day. But if you have a coach that's pushing you, and I want to push you to be your best, that is what Dave and I are truly going to dedicate the rest of our life to. Just helping people put one foot in front of the other every single day, and to never, ever, ever give up. I know that you can if you will, but I know that most of you won't. I know that you can if you will, but I know that most of you won't. And Dave had a famous line that he always said at every meeting that we had, every night of the week, 20 years of our 30-year marriage. There is a plane that leaves from Chicago to New York every single day. And you know what? Whether you get on that plane or not, it's leaving. And I would listen to him say that, and he would be like, there's opportunity around you every single day. There's blessings around you every single day. But God's not going to move until you move. Like, you've got to do something. And I will tell you, there is a destiny that he knew before any of us were born. It's why he paid the ultimate price on the cross. It wasn't so we would just suffer forever. It wasn't so we would just have pain and child support and alimony and not enough money and credit card debt and grief and all the things. He did it so that we could have this eternal life. And when I think about the final words that he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. It is finished. I think, how could I be alive? I have breath right now. Everybody take a deep breath, like you're breathing. And a lot of people aren't. A lot of people wish they could have more breath. A lot of people wish they could have another day with sunshine, another day with their spouse, another day with their kids. Like, you have it, and you're complaining and you're grumbling and you're mad and you're angry and you're heartbroken and you're sad and you're worried and you're fearful and all of these things that are a low vibration. And you guys, that's not what God created us for. He created you and I for greatness. And he paid this price so that we could do one thing. The only thing he cares about: serve and witness to other people. And at the end of this life, boom, it's gone. Your family, just like Cindy's family, just like my mother-in-law's family, we went there, we cleaned up a little box, we put together the pictures. I have her little clawfoot table here in my office. I have a ton of memories, 9,000 cardinals that she collected. But really, yesterday, Callie said when we were sitting at dinner, she said, I just miss being able to call her and talk. I miss that she would encourage me. I miss the things that she taught me to be so strong. I need her. I miss her. And you guys, if you don't get anything else out of this, you are what people are going to miss. You are what people are going to miss. And how you show up every single day depends on how you take care of you. You have to wake up and pray. You have to wake up and ask for guidance and help. You have to wake up and serve. You have to wake up and get better every single day. And there's nothing that's ever going to quench your thirst or fill your heart or fix everything that's broken until you get that right in here. And if there's anything Dave and I had in that little log cabin church with dysfunction junction in every pew that filled the church that day, we put the funk in dysfunction when I think about our family. Our marriage wasn't all planned out and perfect. But if there's anything that we had that I would attribute 30 years of absolute blessings in the middle of every burden, it would be that God was the foundation. From the day that we prayed for each other and he brought us together to the day that we got married. And I will tell you guys, now more than ever, I ask him to be there for me every single day. And I'm not really all that great. Without him, I would be nothing. But everything that comes out of me, I really do believe is the Holy Spirit. I really do believe that there is this spiritual gift that my grandma planted when I was that little bitty broken redhead freckle-faced girl. And it is such a seed that it doesn't matter if somebody puts Roundup on it and tries to kill it and take everything I have and attack me, my kids, my marriage, my finances, my empire, whatever. There is just this seed that's planted in there that nothing can kill. And it just continues to grow and grow and grow and get better and fail forward and fail again and get stronger and get better and get bigger. And I will build an empire and give God all of the glory. And I will tell you, if you don't have that at the foundation of your engagement, your marriage, your business, your children, whatever, get it. And if you don't know how to get it, reach out to me. I'm not the best at that either, but I have a mentor that can help, right? It's a simple prayer. Just one day, it was just a simple prayer. And Dave and I did it together in a car. It was Lord, please forgive me for my sins. Come into my heart. I make you my Lord and my Savior. I want you in my life. And we said that in Jesus' name. Amen. And there was a sudden shift. It didn't matter how heartbroken we were anymore. It didn't matter what the haters said, what our dads did, what our moms did, what happened if we were bankrupt at the food pantry, bouncing checks, couldn't feed the baby, stressed out, car repossessed, name in the newspaper, company went bankrupt, lost all our income, middle of a horrible lawsuit for millions of dollars. Nothing could steal our joy, and nothing can ever take that from me. And I'm telling you guys right now, I want to be a light. I want you to catch it. It's a contagious energy and faith. And I know that the Lord is going to heal everyone in my family and your family. I know that when we speak that, he is going to bless that. When we speak that he's going to bless your business and 10 times your income for everything you lost, he will. It's a promise. It's written in red, he said it. Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, not to harm you, not to harm you, but to prosper you, to give you hope and a future. I probably have that in my house 35 times. It's a promise. And every time there's a setback, I really do believe, even the last 45 days here with my daughter, Brooklyn, I just keep saying, okay, God, I have patience. I'm waiting on you to show up. I know it's not a setback, it's a comeback. Do I get tired? Yes. Do I worry? I'm human. Am I afraid? Absolutely. But I don't feed that, because when I pray and I speak, even when it looks grim, even when everyone else is doubting, I say, just wait, like good things are happening. Good things are happening. God's going to show up. Amazing miracles are being manifested, not just in my life, but in yours. And if you will say that with conviction and believe it, I'm telling you, you will receive it. So I hope all of you have an amazingly happy Easter. I've gone over a little bit like a Baptist preacher today. That wasn't even in my plans. I had all these notes, didn't even go from them. But I'm just incredibly blessed to be married to one of the most amazing humans on the planet. And I would give all the credit to his amazing mom, who raised an incredible man, a gentleman that would always put his family first, and built our marriage and our family and our foundation on a rock that was so solid that nobody can ever take away. And that's a faith that you have right in here. From the minute we got together until today, I know that that was God's destiny. So I hope that you can find that. If you're lost, I can help you find somebody that can help you find your way. But just never, never, never get up. Do it. Give up. I mean, get up. Get up. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Just do it and do it all out. And make a commitment, knowing that it doesn't matter how it's going to happen. Like, that's none of your business. That's God's business. If he would bring you to it, he will bring you through it. And I believe that with all my heart. So if you want to be a part of the coaching, you can go. The link is going to be in the comments. I'm sure my 20 people that I've been really close with have probably already posted the link. Those 20, I will never forget. The first 20, I mean, like the founders of the Best Coaching Group. We are planning events. We are planning businesses, investments, vacations, so many amazing things. And I would love for you guys to be a part of that group. So you can go to davidandbarb.com/best. Try it for free without anything for 7 days. If you don't get your value, get out. Quit the group. Say, this is not for me. But I think in the first 72 hours, you're going to be like, holy cow, because it's not me. It's this group. It's the energy. It's the frequency. It's the faith. It's the ideas. It's like a think tank. It's like a mastermind. It's crazy energy. And you know what? It's probably the lowest I've ever been paid in my 28-year career. And it's probably the greatest value and the most joy I've ever had in my life. So I hope you guys will be a part of it. Happy anniversary to my amazing husband, Dave. Happy Easter to all of you. I hope you're with family and loved ones. If not, big hug. I want you to feel joy. And the first thing that you have to do is everything that I talked about today. So with that said, I'm going to wrap this up. Happy Easter, everyone.